You think you're the one in control right now? I mean, really. You think the way you react, the decisions you make, that it's actually you choosing? Let me tell you something, it's not. There's this autopilot version of you running the show, wired up way before you ever learned to question it. So today, we're gonna dive deep into how you can finally grab the controls. Because here's the thing, it's a truth that all the great strategists, the generals, the real architects of influence throughout history, they all got this one thing. Your emotions, they're either your greatest weapon or your most fatal weakness. There's just no in between. And the problem is, the world has probably sold you a bill of goods, a version of emotional intelligence that's actually holding you back, making you vulnerable. So look at this. On the left, you've got what we're all taught, right? Be expressive, be reactive. Vulnerability is a strength. The source material we're looking at today calls this emotional performance. But then, look at the right. This is a whole different playbook, one built for real-world effectiveness. We're talking about internal governance, deliberate composure, and just ice-cold strategic clarity. All right, let's really break this down. The emotional performance trap. What is it? Well, think about it like this. Every single time you react emotionally, you're basically just handing over a detailed blueprint of your own mind. You're showing everyone your triggers, your fears. You're literally pointing to the buttons they can push to make you do exactly what they want. So what's the way out? It's this concept, internal governance. And what I find so fascinating here is the precision of it. This isn't about just bottling up your emotions or pretending you don't have them. No. This is about gaining total, absolute authority over them. We're talking about controlling what you feel, when you show it, and maybe most importantly, what it's gonna cost you. Okay, so this leads us right into our first big mental upgrade. I love this phrase, shrink the spike, expand the mind. The whole idea is about mastering the amplitude of your emotions, so you can reclaim all that mental horsepower you lose, especially when things get intense. And the science behind this is, well, it's pretty brutal. When a really strong emotion hits you, that's the spike. Your brain physically hijacks resources. It pulls them away from the rational, logical part of your brain. So in that moment, you literally get dumber. Your IQ just tanks. And this visual just nails it, doesn't it? Most of us are living over there on the left, with that big, red, reactive mind. The goal, the training, is all about getting to the right, compressing that spike. It's not about feeling less, it's about creating the mental space, that headroom, to actually think clearly when it counts. You know, Machiavelli absolutely understood this. He said you have to be a lion and a fox. The lion is obvious, that's strength. But the fox is the one who sees the traps. And to see a trap, you need a calm, clear eye. That comes from a compressed nervous system. It's simple, really. Less emotional noise means more mental processing power. All right, let's get into upgrade number 2, cognitive decoupling. This is a big one. Think of it as disabling your brain's emotional autocomplete. You know that feature? The one that instantly writes a whole story about a situation before you even have half the facts? So your brain takes some tiny event, a weird look from someone, a pause in a conversation, a single word, and bam, it instantly fills in all the gaps with your worst fears and old anxieties. Cognitive decoupling is the manual override switch. It's you consciously separating the raw, observable fact from the dramatic story your brain just invented about it. And the tool for this is just one simple, powerful question. Before you just buy into that first, usually negative story that pops into your head, you have to pause. And you have to ask yourself, what other explanations could exist for this exact same fact? Seriously, that one question is your key to staying accurate instead of just being purely reactive. Moving on, we have upgrade number 3, outcome layering. Now this is about learning to think in different layers of time. And believe me, this skill is what really separates the truly strategic minds from everyone else who's just stuck reacting to whatever's happening right now. See, most people are stuck in layer 1, the immediate move. But a strategic mind is always asking, okay, but what does this create next? That's layer 2. And then, the real master level thinking, what precedent does this set for the future? That's layer 3. And that third layer, that's where you end up paying the price for all the emotional, short-sighted decisions you made back in layer 1. Okay, upgrade number 4 is honestly a total game changer. It's called structural perception. This is all about stopping paying so much attention to what people are saying and learning to see the invisible forces that are actually shaping the entire interaction. And this metaphor just captures it perfectly. Most of us are just watching the waves on the surface, right? The drama, the back and forth. Structural perception is the ability to see the ocean floor, to see the underlying currents, the incentives, the fears, the hidden power dynamics that are driving everything you see on top. So how do you do that? Well, here are 3 tactical questions you can ask. Before you ever respond to someone, just quickly ask yourself, 1, what does this person need to protect right now? 2, what do they need to gain? And 3, what do I represent to them? Am I a resource, a threat, an ally, or just an obstacle in their way? If you can answer those, their words stop being a confusing maze and become a crystal clear map of their true motivations. All right, let's get super practical now with upgrade number 5. It's called the 72-hour neutrality drill. This is a real-world exercise you can literally start using today, and its purpose is to help you figure out the difference between something that's actually urgent and the kind of pressure that's just manufactured by your own emotional brain. Here's how it works. For 72 hours, any decision that feels emotionally charged just waits. A trigger hits you, but instead of reacting, you just enter the state of observation without obedience. You feel the emotion, you acknowledge it, but you do not obey its command to act. I promise you, by hour 72, that emotional fog will have lifted, and you'll be able to make a truly calm, clear-headed decision. So now we take this internal control and apply it to the outside world. This is upgrade number 6, strategic leverage architecture. This is all about shifting your approach away from just using brute force, and instead learning how to find and apply pressure at the points of maximum leverage. Think about it. When you run into resistance, what's the first instinct? It's to push harder, right? Well, the strategic mind does the opposite. It stops and it asks this one question. Because resistance is almost never just random. It is protecting something. And if you can figure out what that is, you've found the real problem. And usually that problem can be solved without a big, messy fight.
So, all of these upgrades, they sound pretty powerful, right? And they absolutely are. But we have to be honest and talk about the price. There is a psychological cost, a trade-off that comes with this kind of deep mental transformation, and it's really important that we address it. It has a name: cognitive isolation. It's this strange, unique kind of loneliness that happens when you start processing the world on layer 3, but everyone else around you is still stuck back on layer 1. It honestly can feel like you're suddenly fluent in a language that nobody else in the room can speak.
But here's the crucial thing you have to understand. This feeling of isolation, it's not the end of the road. It's a transition. It's the bridge between the reactive person you used to be and the strategic person you're becoming. In a way, that feeling is actually the signal that you're making real progress.
And that brings us right back to the one final poor choice. You know, the gap between where you are right now and where you could be, it has nothing to do with luck or talent. It all boils down to this single question. So you have to ask yourself, what's it going to be?